Quake II arrives on the Switch, and it's been long requested after they did such a fantastic job of that first game in the remaster. I'd even go as far now as saying this was anticipated. But I'm excited to shout out Bethesda for contacting me, who gave me early access to check out this enhanced edition of the game that's packing in a ton of extra content. That's what I'm here to break down for you all today. My name's Alex, this is SwitchCorner. Let's get into it. If you enjoyed the video today, consider subscribing, it helps the channel a huge amount. I also want to be transparent with you all before we do dive into this review. Now, I've spent the last week with Quake II, but that was on Steam because the Switch build would not go live till day of launch. Now, the footage you're watching at this moment, that is from the Nintendo Switch. Given how comparable the port of Quake Remastered was though, and with some reassurance, I couldn't help but check it out. Honestly, if I told my younger self that I'd be contacted to check out a remaster of Quake II in advance and then said no, he would not forgive me. So here we are, I'm excited to tell you all about it, and I've got all of the information on the Switch build for you in this video. The rest of the footage that you will see today then, with that in mind, is running at a 4K resolution and it was captured on PC. I will, however, place some additional Switch footage at the end of this video as well, but I can confirm it runs great. Add this game to your collection. I have to put it out there up front, the Quake Remaster was fantastic, and with Quake II, that same team has returned and absolutely nailed it once again. What's more, they're keeping the pricing incredibly fair at just $9.99 USD or your regional equivalent. In my opinion, the first game was one of the best ways to spend $10, and I'm happy to say that this follow-up maintains that high standard. It is a value-packed experience that fans will no doubt appreciate, and hopefully a few newcomers jump in as well. In terms of single-player content then, Quake II offers a huge amount to keep players busy. It includes not only the original campaign, but also both original expansions, that's the Reckoning and Ground Zero. Each part has its own unique storyline, though admittedly, that narrative isn't really the focus. Now, the general idea here is you'll be taking on an alien race known as the Strug, and in the original game, the mission is to infiltrate a base and take down the Strug fleet, and that storyline is mostly repeated in the Reckoning. In Ground Zero, however, the plot revolves around freeing our fleet that is trapped in a gravity well. The storyline serves as a simple excuse to get out there and shoot stuff. What further elevates this package for single player, however, is the next two pieces of content. We get a fantastic new campaign called Call of the Machine and every level from Quake II 64. This addition was unexpected but welcome, and it feels like coming home for me. I had the game on both PC and N64, and this package immediately reminded me why they stuck with me. Quake II 64 has us taking on the role of a Special Forces member that's dropped behind enemy lines on a reconnaissance mission of the Strug's home planet. Regarding the new content, I'm going to leave that one down to you to find out for yourself. Turning to gameplay, I'll keep this brief as many of you watching likely know what to expect from Quake II. It's fast-paced, old-school first-person shooting where the goal is simply to kill your enemies faster than they can kill you, and that is actually quite a bit harder than it may sound. Fortunately, the game offers 4 difficulty options to suit your playstyle, along with a level select feature that lets you really just jump around as you please. Be warned, however, Quake II is packed full of lethal foes with some real and nasty ways to dispatch of you. Think from simple foot soldiers to heavily armoured enemies to almost spider-like foes with rocket launchers attached. The challenges are brutal and often relentless, with this old-school mentality of simply charging at you. The controls in Quake II are kept simple, allowing for fast movement, jumping, swimming and ducking. We will of course then uncover a wide array of weapons and I guess support pieces, think like grenades, relatively weak pistols, rocket launchers, even massive railguns, and these can all be accessed from a quick wheel menu attached to the triggers as we saw in Quake Remastered. Additionally then you're going to find a slew of power-ups as well, think armor, health, ammo, rebreathers, and that's just a few of the examples you will uncover. While the gameplay and controls of Quake II feel incredibly similar to the original, there are some notable differences. I'd argue the original Quake has a slightly stronger control scheme. It feels a little faster and the jump feels a little bit more fluid. However, Quake II introduced the duck mechanic, which is frequently leveraged in the level design, and that is, in my opinion, what sets Quake II apart. These levels are more complex, they feature branching pathways, and then they have objective-based gameplay. This adds a layer of depth and strategy that I always loved. The game now forces exploration and even has some backtracking as you search for that next unlock that will allow you to proceed, though I will put out there it is not overused. This semi-open approach to level design just felt so fresh back in the day, and it still shines in my opinion. With all of this said, the overall gameplay in Quake 2 remains consistent then across that original and mission pack expansions, the two that are included, but there are some distinct differences when it comes to that additional content, including Quake 2 64 and that new core of the machine. Quake 2 64 always felt a bit more simplistic to me, with levels that are more linear and quicker to overcome. Still a lot of fun to be had, do not get me wrong, but there's also then the introduction of a few new enemy types that keeps it feeling a little fresh, and also the modern control scheme here makes a massive difference when you think back to the original N64 controllers and that single stick design. It is something that I really did want to see. Now, as for Call of the Machine, it embraces that semi-open design that sets Quake 2 apart, but some of these locations feel massive compared to that original game. Also, without giving away any spoilers, I loved the opening sequence, which has you finding a pod to launch from within a spaceship. It's an opening worthy of the name, which builds on the idea that you are an elite soldier and a cog in a much bigger machine. Multiplayer then we must discuss, and once again we not only see a competitive option but also the return of co-op, and it supports online as well as local play. We also have crossplay support then across all platforms, and if that's not enough, expect bot integration for deathmatch and team deathmatch modes on and offline. On the Switch then we can play locally, maxing out at 4 players on one system, split screen. We also get capture the flag mode and a large selection of maps and customizable options, allowing you to tailor the gameplay to your liking. Regarding features we love to see on the Switch then, gyro aiming returns. It's in the same form that we did experience in Quake Remastered. It feels fantastic, just a great addition as well, given the price point they are retailing this at. And yeah, I had no complaints regarding its implementation in the first game, and that remains here. We also see then the return of built-in achievements for those out there that do enjoy the addition. I am a fan personally, but I'm hoping on the next system they do become native to the hardware. Visuals and audio then, and for those unfamiliar with Quake 2, it's worth noting it is quite different in its design from that original Quake. I would almost say a little bit more, generic. That first one was so stylized and gothic. Interestingly though, this divergence, it has a simple explanation. Quake 2 was not initially intended to be part of the Quake series. It was conceived as an entirely different IP, and it was going to be taking place on this alien world. The developers basically couldn't come up with a cooler name, so they decided to make it a Quake title. While it might be overlooked amongst the entries in the series, I do actually think this one offers one of the better stories. There's also a handy guide built in here with some history as well as design work that fans should appreciate. Regarding upgrades then, we get widescreen resolution support, enhanced models, improved animations and gore, restored AI behavior, enhanced cinematics that look particularly special, new lighting, and then depth of field adjustments. The soundtrack then is also as special as ever. It retains its retro charm with a recording quality that is noticeably different from modern design, but it has been cleaned up and they've retained the original soundtrack, which is killer stuff by Sonic Mayhem. While I played on Steam for the majority of my time, I love this game, and now getting hands-on with the Switch build as well, footage coming up here soon, this is an easy, amazing 9 out of 10 from me. Like the first game, this does not disappoint. It's a lovingly restored classic, which adds quality of life additions that are gonna be appreciated, and then it also packs it full of content, including new additions at a more than reasonable price point. Again, easy recommendation from me, no matter the system you opt for, and this, it's hitting absolutely everything. Switch, Steam, PlayStation, Xbox as well of course, but we are SwitchCorner for a reason, and this classic for me, it deserves to be portable. So will you be checking out Quake 2? Let me know in the comments. Again, a massive thank you to Bethesda for allowing me to get hands-on with this title in advance. Pre-announcement means a huge amount, and with that, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews, deals, news and lists daily, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone, and enjoy the rest of the footage.